Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but before that, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Ex-Steelers WR sells Super Bowl ring for second highest price ever. Former Pittsburgh Steelers wideout Plaxico Burress has a very public history of financial problems and civil lawsuits stemming from his failure or inability to pay taxes. After making about $30 million over the course of his 13-year career, Burress seemingly is still struggling financially and put his Super Bowl 42 ring up for sale. Burress was drafted by the Steelers out of Michigan State with the number 8 overall pick in the 2000 draft and played 4 seasons before moving on to the Giants through the 2008 season. He then played 1 year with the Jets in 2011 before returning to Pittsburgh for 2 seasons from 2012 to 13. Burress was a coaching intern with the Cardinals in 2017. The former Spartan didn't win a Super Bowl with the Steelers but was on the Patriots-killing Giants team that beat New England for the 2007 championship, ending the Patriots' bid for the first 19-0 perfect season. The Super Bowl 42 ring that Burress was awarded for that season was put up for auction and has drawn a $280,600 winning bid at Heritage Auctions. The ring is of historical significance since Burress caught the game-winning touchdown pass from Eli Manning in that game. The Patriots were in a position to supplant the 1972 Dolphins as the only undefeated team in the Super Bowl era and become the first to go 19-0. But the Giants prevailed 17-14 in that game, much to the pleasure of the remaining Dolphins players from that squad. The $280,600 price tag is thought to be the second highest amount ever received for a Super Bowl ring after Baltimore Colts coach Don McCafferty's Super Bowl V, 1971, Colts 16, Cowboys 13, ring brought $300,000 in 2022. How top wide receiver prospects would fit with Steelers. Due to the combination of their top needs and expected available players when they make their choice, the Pittsburgh Steelers are most likely to draft a wide receiver or defensive tackle 21st overall in April's draft. These positions are 2 of their biggest needs, and there should be some talented players available at both spots at 21. Focusing on wide receiver, there are 3 prospects the Steelers will have on their radar in the first round. Here is how each of the 3 players would fit in Pittsburgh. Kicking off the trio of potential Steelers wide receiver prospects is a player whose draft stock skyrocketed in the college football playoffs. Matthew Golden's name was never mentioned as a top prospect earlier in the college season. Now, it's hard to find a mock draft that doesn't have Golden being selected in the first round. At 6'0" and a hair under 200 pounds, Golden isn't huge for NFL standards, but his size isn't much of a concern. His biggest selling points are his track star speed and his route running abilities. Golden can take the top off of a defense and also reliably get open underneath and in the intermediate part of the field. He plays with good physicality and is a good contested catch receiver. 2 potential drawbacks for the Steelers are Golden's concerns with drops and weakness as a run blocker. For better or worse, Arthur Smith is in charge of Pittsburgh's offense. Receivers need to block in Smith's scheme. That said, Golden can line up at any receiver position. He has the ceiling of a future WR1 and is ready to be a day 1 contributor. Pittsburgh would be thrilled to have Golden as a weapon for Justin Fields. After capping off his excellent collegiate career with a national championship, Emeka Egbuka is another one of the Steelers' top wide receiver prospects. While his ceiling isn't quite as high as most of the other first-round receivers in this draft, Egbuka is about as pro-ready as they come. Egbuka's bread and butter is his route running. He gets open effortlessly. Being able to consistently get open is one of the best traits a wide receiver prospect can have. Egbuka also has great hands, has a high motor, and is a high-character prospect. Given the Steelers' recent troubles with their top wide receivers, a player with Egbuka's maturity would be a welcome addition to the locker room. He is also a quality run blocker, which would serve him well in Smith's offense. One of Egbuka's flaws is that he probably won't line up anywhere like Golden will in the NFL. While Igbokwe could get some snaps on the boundary, he will spend most of his time in the slot. He also doesn't have the straight-line speed to reliably beat teams over the top. Igbokwe might not have the highest ceiling in the class, but he is ready to contribute with his route running and YAC abilities right away. Steelers should make blockbuster move if surprise QB trade candidate is up for grabs. Nothing is more important to the future success of the Pittsburgh Steelers than fixing the quarterback position. Unfortunately, free agent options are limited this offseason. If the front office isn't willing to fork up a lucrative contract for Sam Darnold, Pittsburgh could be forced to resort back to Justin Fields or Russell Wilson for the 2025 season. Trade options are even more limited. While Matthew Stafford's name has been thrown in the rumor mill, it doesn't make sense for the Rams to move on from the 37-year-old without another competent option in place. Based on contract situations and new regimes, the only other trade names that make logical sense are Derek Carr and Geno Smith. But another quarterback has recently been mentioned as a surprise trade candidate this offseason. Ian Valentino of the 33rd team recently wrote about 5 surprise NFL trade candidates in 2025. Kyler Murray was one of them. The 2021 first overall pick of the Arizona Cardinals made 2 Pro Bowls in his first 3 seasons and has shown promise. Murray, however, has played in just 1 full season over the past 4 years as his numbers have come back down to earth. Valentino admits that a Murray trade would be considered more surprising than Matthew Stafford or Geno Smith, but the Cardinals, who gave Murray a 5-year, $230 million contract in 2022, could look to get out of Murray's contract before he asks for more guaranteed money. Let me preface by saying I don't believe the Cardinals would be willing to move on from Kyler Murray. Despite his injury history, steep contract, and an overall lack of team success, Arizona doesn't have a backup plan. Murray can often keep the Cardinals in games. However, if Murray were to be up for grabs, the Steelers would be wise to pursue the talented quarterback. Murray is small, 5 feet 10 inches, 207 pounds, but he's got a whip attached to his right shoulder and is a master at extending the play. Though Mike Tomlin may be looking for a pocket passer who can deliver the ball over the middle of the field, the Steelers' head coach frequently expresses how important mobility is at the quarterback position. Murray averages 7.0 yards per attempt in his career to go with a respectable 92.4 passer rating, but these numbers are collectively higher when the talented quarterback plays more than 11 games in a season. Every season in which Murray has played at least 14 games has been accompanied by 20-plus passing touchdowns, over 3,700 passing yards, and over 400 rushing yards. At 27 years old, Murray isn't going to be on the decline anytime soon, and landing with a more talented supporting cast in Pittsburgh could help take his performance to the next level. Trading for the former number 1 pick wouldn't come cheap, because the Cardinals would be forced to absorb a $58.5 million dead money hit. If traded before June 1, Arizona would want to be handsomely compensated. The Steelers would likely be looking at a package that included multiple first-round picks. This would be a gamble, but one worth taking. With Cameron Hayward turning 36 years old this offseason and TJ Watt in his 30s, the time for action is now. A Kyler Murray trade would make the Steelers a competitive team and give them a quarterback who could threaten opponents in the playoffs. And you, fan? What do you think of Kyler Murray's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.